Let's show you the front of today's pages, and no surprises for guessing that that picture appears on most of them, but of course the coronavirus story as well, dominating all of the front pages today. The Observer, as you can see there, new government contingency plans in response to the outbreak features pretty heavily there too, outlining emergency legislation to make it easier for people to volunteer in the NHS or in care homes.
Sunday Telegraph, meanwhile, carries an interview with Chancellor Rishi Sunak ahead of his budget on Wednesday, in which he promises, quote, targeted help for businesses and workers in the event of a coronavirus epidemic.
The Sunday Times reports ministers are preparing for a potential coronavirus death toll of up to 100,000. The paper also says exam boards are drawing up contingency plans to delay GCSEs and A-levels if necessary.
And on the BBC News website, the BBC's fact-checking team have been looking at some of the most widespread claims about coronavirus that have been shared online and what the science really says.
And much misinformation.
Well, there is, isn't there? And this is a really interesting double-page spread inside the Observer today. What they've done is spoken to people who are on the front line, so a head teacher, a pharmacist, a care home boss, an A&E nurse and a GP. These are the people who are feeling the pressure day to day. We keep reporting on strategy from government, but there's loads of detail about how their jobs are ramped up at the moment. And a lot of it is to do with people worrying and panicking without having had any symptoms.
And I imagine that a lot of their job right now is trying to correct some of that misinformation and make sure that people do have what they need to know to make sure they are prepared. And you just travel on public transport or anywhere right now, and images like this are increasingly common. But of course, the advice is that those face masks don't necessarily do much to help. It's just about things like keeping your hands clean.
But certainly the pharmacist, the care home boss, the A&E nurse, the GP, all saying that at this time of year they feel under a lot of pressure anyway.
Yes.
And so if this ramps up...
And that's part of that strategy, of course, to try and delay the spread until the warmer summer months, where the pressure isn't as much on the NHS and hospitals and GP surgeries, and also might tend to sort of die out that way. On the front of the Mail on Sunday, the Queen getting involved in this, saying, "I won't let the virus stop me doing my duty." You may have seen those pictures of the Queen handing out gongs at Buckingham Palace, wearing gloves for the first time this week, but she's very keen to make sure that she continues doing what she does. And also, of course, as we said, you saw Nick Witchell's report there from the events that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were carrying out last night. The Duchess of Sussex in the school in Dagenham, and then a glittering evening in London last night. We'll show you more.